Hello students, welcome to class. Our topic for this lesson is payment. In this class, we'll be looking at the meaning of payment, factors determining the method of payment, the various means of payment, and means of payment made by businessmen. We'll be starting off with the meaning of payment. Payment can be defined as the means of settling any business transaction. It is also referred to as the settlement of outstanding debts between a creditor and a buyer. Payment could also mean the transfer of one form of goods, service, or financial asset in exchange for another form of goods, service, or financial assets in proportion that have been previously agreed by parties involved.
Now let's take a look at the various means of payment. 1. We have legal tender. Legal tender is the medium of payment allowed by law or recognized by a legal system to be valid for meeting financial obligations. Legal tender includes banknotes and coins. It is the commonest means of payment. 2. We have payment through bank. This is meeting one's financial obligations through banking system. 3. We have standing order. A standing order is an instruction by an account holder to the bank to pay a certain sum of money on his behalf at regular intervals to a named person or organization. 4. We have bank draft. This is a safe means of payment. It is used by a debtor when his creditor is not willing to accept a personal check. 5. We have direct debit. This means of payment is good for goods which quantity delivered are not constant. It is a transfer system whereby the creditor, by agreement with the debtor, gives instruction to the debtor's bank to pay him a specific amount by debiting the account of the debtor and crediting his own account. 6. We also have checks. Checks are demands on the bank by the account holder to pay a certain amount of money to the person named on it as the payee. Other means of payment include certified check, traveler's check, and lastly we have credit transfer.
Now let's look at factors that determine the method of payment. 1. We have the amount of money involved. 2. We have the urgency of the payment. 3. The safety of the money. 4. The distance between the parties involved. 5. The type of account the buyer and seller uses. 6. The cost involved in the means of payment. And lastly for this class, the due date of payment.
Now let's move on to means of payment made by post office. 1. We have money order. Money order is a type of check usually purchased from a postal service to allow safe sending of money through the post, possibly to be redeemed in another country. 2. We have postal order. A postal order is a money order purchased at and issued by a post office for redemption at another post office to a named recipient. 3. We have postal giro. A giro transfer is a payment transfer from one bank account to another bank account, and it is initiated by the payer and not the payee. Next we have telegraphic money order. This is a method of sending money to someone in urgent need of cash. The sender places cash with a telegraph office, which then wires the telegraph office at the city of destination to disburse the cash or acceptable equivalent. And lastly we have postage stamps. Postage stamp is a small piece of printed paper stuck on an item to be mailed, indicating that postage has been paid. And lastly, let's take a look at means of payment by businessmen. 1. We have promissory note. A promissory note is an unconditional promise written and signed by a debtor to a creditor agreeing to pay on demand a certain sum of money to the creditor at a particular date. 2. We have bill of exchange. A bill of exchange is an unconditional order in writing addressed by the seller to the buyer, requesting that the buyer pays on demand a certain sum of money at a particular time. And lastly, we have IOU. An IOU is not a legal document, it is a written acknowledgement of an outstanding debt. And before we go, let's do a quick exercise. Question 1. That can simply be defined as the means of settling any business transaction. A. Acceptance, B. Bonus, C. Payment, and D. Outstanding. Question 2. One of these is not a means of payment made by the post office. A. Money order, B. Postal orders, C. Postage stamp, and D. Standing order. Question 3. One of these is not a factor in determining the method of payment. A. The durability of the money, B. The amount of the money, C. The safety of the money, and D. The urgency of the money. Question 4. The means of payment which a creditor is compelled by law of the state to accept in settlement of debts is A. Postage stamp, B. Legal tender, C. Payment through bank, and D. Payment through post office. And lastly, the various means of payment is all of these except A. Payment by bank, B. Businessman's means of payment, C. Payment through bank, D. Payment through necessity. With this, we've come to the end of this class. Thank you for watching. See you in our next class. Bye bye.